Yeah, welcome to This Week Inside the New York Knicks, episode 12 of the 2024-25 season. And listen, y'all, some of the topics we're going to talk about the good injury update news. There's been some updates to the injury report. We'll talk about some of the chemistry issues that may actually exist on this team. We'll talk about Coach Tibbs and the rotation again. This has been a consistent theme each and every week. We'll talk about the final All-Star votes. We'll get into the power rankings. By the way, I have some updates as far as the Knick of the week. Okay, word on the street, and much more on This Week Inside the New York Knicks. Yes, sir. Welcome to This Week Inside the New York Knicks. I am your host with the most, Karan Pierre, the objective fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes. Man, welcome to the podcast, man. Today's MLK Day. Make some noise for MLK. One of my favorite Americans, I'm going to say that. Definitely someone that was a pioneer in the civil rights movement. And without him, we wouldn't be here where we are today. So we got to honor his legacy. And today is definitely an important day. Even though his birthday is on the 15th, it's all good. He still has a federal holiday. By the way, salute to Dios in the chat early. Salute to you, New York City. Salute. And New York City, too. Salute to everybody that's going to be listening to the rewind as we go through some topics. Now, listen, y'all, this was one of the toughest Knick weeks. Matter of fact, let me tell you why. Because we tracked the podcast from Monday through Sunday. This was based on the numbers I got here, based on when we do the podcast. This is the first ever losing week of the season. We went 1-2 and we lost to, of course, the Wolves. Sad game. We lost to the Pistons. Sad game. But we did beat the Sixers. Anytime you could beat the Sixers, that gets a New York City salute. We don't like those boys in Philly. Those are our little brothers. So we went to 1-2, unfortunately. And honestly, this was a tough week. But the good news is we did get some rest in between games. Anytime you could get 2 days in between games and you're dealing with some nagging injuries, it's always a blessing in disguise. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys were on the call-up show, but I got a new little studio set up as well. Changed it up, no more green screen. Something different. I'm trying to think anything else I want to mention before we get started. I do got another special highlight. Got 2 things I want to highlight. I'm going to jump into research mode. By the way, research mode definitely a different look. So now we definitely get to actually see, the article better instead of my head always being in the way. Oh, thank you, Dios, for the compliment. I have to give a big salute to my lady. She helped me put this together. And I do appreciate the acknowledgement. A lot of hard work and dedication. And by the way, all you guys support, super chats, liking the show, sharing the show. It all helps. So, thank you for that. But we're going to be reading from here. Of course, we're going to be talking about the topics the time range between January 13th to the 19th. And this podcast, This Week Inside the Knicks.com, this is the best way to keep up with the Knicks. You may have missed some things, or, you may have just not have been around. Maybe you're busy working. So you just come here and this will give you the whole week, right, wrapped up into a podcast and a blog entry with all the hottest, latest news. So I do want to give a special highlight to legendary MSG photographer George Kalinsky. He passed away at age 88. My condolences to the family. But this brother right here took some of the most iconic photos that we all appreciate today. And so he passed away, lived a long, fulfilling life. Once a Knick, always a Knick. Even whether you play for the team, work for the team, or did anything for the team, even fans, some fans that, go to games like Spike Lee, people like that definitely are always held in high esteem. So, we got to give a special tribute to this brother. Like I said, he took some of the photos that we all grew to love and photos that we didn't even know. Of course, most of the time when you look at a photo, you don't even know who took the photo. So I just definitely have to give a big, and this is the picture of the brother here, a big RIP to him and his family. And this was him Game 7 at the finals. So, also, I got to give a big time salute. I don't have the article here. I don't think, at least I don't I don't think I got it. No, there was a brother who actually won a car at the last Knick game at halftime. One of the only highlights of that game. I want to give a New York City salute to that brother. He hit a half court shot and then he went and hugged Ben Still. I'm trying to see if I have the article here. I don't think I posted it here. It should have been a part of the special highlights. But I you never really see that at the Garden, somebody winning a car, right? At least I haven't seen it, or if I haven't been to a game in a minute, but at the same time, you don't really see people winning big things like that. You barely could get a t-shirt, but salute to that brother that won the car as well. So that's all for the special highlights. I do got some hot topics. Like I said, during the intro of the show, there's been some issues, or there's been some reports about possible chemistry issues. As you can see, one of the topics I got there. Last week we read a quote from Josh Hart, right? The Nova Knicks star, who said that, we shouldn't have egos after a loss and sacrificing. And we were trying to figure out whether or not that was true or false. Last week I completely debunked it. I said, nah, that just doesn't sound like, to me, he's talking about a player. It just sounds like Coach Tibbs' rhetoric. But then Coach Tibbs, he responds and says that Josh Hart should not talk to his players in a certain way. So now, because Coach Tibbs said that, that's beginning to make me think that there may be some sort of issue here. As I cite through this article here, hold on, about. So this was written by the New York Post, basically quoting Coach Thibodeau. And in his quote, what he said in response to Josh Hart's comments, and this is what Thibodeau says, and I honestly believe Tibbs really feels this way. He says, "I really don't read what you guys write, but there's a lot of challenges throughout the course of the season. Just stay focused." Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get the topics out the way. Okay, I really don't read what you guys write, but there's a lot of challenges throughout the course of the season, and stay focused on daily improvement. Sometimes there's going to be some frustration, right? I think often, sometimes the next day you look at the film, you put a mic in front of someone right after the game, and sometimes they may say things, we all may say things that we wish we had not said until you watch the film the next day. And then usually there's a pretty good reason why something occurred. So before you say something, you should probably think, right? And we talk about it in the locker room and figure out our stuff. So because Coach Tibbs, responded that way, it kind of gave credence to people. They felt like, oh, maybe there is an issue in the locker room. I'm going to still say that it's just some, frustration, post-game frustration. I play ball, of course, not on the NBA level, but at the same time, sometimes your best friends who you've been hooping with for years, they make a bad play, you get into an argument, they do something you don't like, you say bad things about them. Doesn't mean that there's really a big time issue. I'm still standing where I'm at, from where I'm at. I just wish Coach Tibbs didn't really, give any light to it. I wish he would just ended it when he says, I don't really listen to you guys, before he made it kind of a thing. And now people are speculating, what this is about. It's also another quote too, where he said that Josh Hart shouldn't call out his teammates that way. I don't have that quote here. I don't think I had it in this article, but I don't think it's nothing. I think we'll be all right, especially if we get back into our winning ways starting today. Right now, for the game, let me just do a double check at 3:00. Last time I checked the injury report, it just said game time decision. So it's still game time decision. Salute to everybody if you just joined the pod, watching the pod. Let me know if there's been any change to this, prognosis, injury reports. So we don't really know will Towns play. I'm assuming that Hart will play, but Towns is still iffy. And I'm going to get to Towns in a second. That is the flagship topic. Oh, salute to Yuri in the chat early. He actually called up in the Knicks Take Madness Discord server. He said, man, I want the Knicks to shut up about this ATL narrative. Okay. Are you saying the narrative of the, Trae Young, or making it into a rivalry? What narrative are you saying? Because I was going to get to that. Jalen Brunson kind of was downplaying the whole, rivalry. Like he's just focused on getting the W and the wins, and that's cool. I'm not mad at that. See, we don't. Besides Mitchell Robinson, I don't think we have any other players that was there for the Atlanta Hawks series when they beat us. So when you don't got the team that was there, right? You do got the coach, but I don't think Tibbs looks at it that way. If that's what you're referring to, Yuri, I'm riding with you. I do think sometimes we get lost in the sauce, but yeah, definitely, Yuri. I see what you're saying. Trae made a comeback that game and he did his thing. I do get it. Like we lost in the playoffs to Atlanta, but sometimes I don't understand why the fans go off on Trae when we're not even playing Atlanta. Like if you ever went to a game, right? Because I was outside the game last year. After the game, I was outside the Garden because I was nearby. So I knew the Knicks fans would gather after we beat Indiana Game 5. And while they're doing, it's a lot of energy. Everybody's happy when they win. And, you're standing in front of the Garden and these chants will break out. And one of the chants that broke out was F. Trae Young. And I'm like, why are we saying that? We're not even playing the Hawks. I don't know. I'm with you, Yuri, on that. I'm definitely with you in that. Let me see. 3-point defense is definitely bad. We could touch on 3-point defense. By the way, the articles I'm reading from, the collection of articles I'm reading from come from my blog, thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, which is the URL that's posted below on the screen. And basically, you can catch up on all your Knick news there, all the things that you may have missed throughout the week, or articles, or if you're just busy and don't have time to stay up to date with the games, that's the best place to get caught up on everything that goes on with the Knicks. So the Knicks 3-point defense is definitely treading in the wrong direction. When I last checked, it was like in the bottom 5 or bottom 20 for sure. The bottom just not good at all, right? I think it was up to like 38% we're giving up or something crazy like that. So the Knicks gave up 22 threes in a loss to the Timberwolves on Friday. I'm not going to spend too much time on the game reviews because we talked about it a lot on Friday. We talked about that Timberwolves game. That was a very sad game, but they shot 55% from 3. And Mikal Bridges says that we got to be better. And people are pointing the finger at Coach Thibodeau a lot. I mean, Coach Tibbs is getting a lot of backlash. When we get the word in the street, I did some polls, and we'll look at what the fans are saying. But right now, I don't know the solution to the 3-point problem. And if the Knicks knew it, I'm pretty sure they would tighten up on it. The only thing I could think about is, and we talked about this before, was making a change to the starting lineup to get more size out there. So that way OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are guarding their rightful position. But the 3-point defense has been bad. You can check this article out. It's a good write-up. I'm going to move a little faster because there's some things I definitely want to talk about. This is some interesting stuff. I'm going to talk about Precious Achiuwa a little bit. He doesn't really get much light in the Knick world. But Precious Achiuwa signed with this company to be his agent called Octagon Family. Now, I'd never heard of them before. I was like, who in the hell is the Octagon Family? So I went to their Twitter account, when you click on this Hoop Hype link, and pow, you see Octagon Basketball. So I'm like, okay. So I click on Octagon Basketball, and they only got barely 7,000 followers. Doesn't mean they don't do a good job. Like, doesn't mean they don't do a good job. And I don't know what everybody's followers look like, but if I'm signing to a company, I feel like I was signed to a company that's going, have a proven track record of giving you the light. But my thing is, why didn't Precious sign the CAA? A lot of the Knicks players are signed the CAA. Why isn't Precious signing the CAA? I don't know. I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying it's something to note. It's something to note, right? So he signed with the Octagon agency. And of course, he did that literally a couple of, right after he made this comment. How do you guys feel about this? I didn't get a chance to do a poll on this, but Precious Achiuwa said, I'm an elite defender after collecting 3 blocks in the Knicks 125-119 overtime win. So what are you guys thinking about Precious Achiuwa? Let me know. He signed with this Octagon family, didn't sign with CAA. But also, do you think Precious Achiuwa is an elite defender? I'm going to say if he's an elite defender, I don't see it at the 5. I don't see it at the 5. I just don't see it at the 5. I'm just going to say it like that just to be, kind of cool. But at the 4, I do think he has shown that he is, solid at the 4 for sure. He's a good defender, does get blocks. I just feel like at the 5, especially when he's going against elite centers, it can be a little trouble. So let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. By the way, salute to E. Gibson in the building. Precious is definitely not a 5. I see you beaming, boys. Precious is not a 5. Yeah, I'm riding with you. He's not. ATL, E. Gibson says, ATL presents problems for you due to their length and athleticism. They also play confidently against us. Well, E. Gibson, you riding with the Sixers, right? I think you're a Sixers fan. Everybody plays confidently against the Sixers, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to take a shot, but everybody plays because I could remember you as a Sixers fan. But ATL, no, they're on a more serious note. ATL they are a problem. I actually watched the game against the Celtics. By the way, if you're not following me on TikTok, TikTok is back. So, it's a good thing I didn't delete my TikTok app. TikTok is back. So we back doing the game reviews and previews on TikTok. I'm also on IG, same name. I did a game preview because I watched the Celtic game and very impressive victory. Now, the Celtics did not have Porzingis and Horford. And because of that, ATL they were able to dominate the paint. Right? Something that I'm not sure if they're going to have that much success. I know this might sound crazy to some of you guys. If Towns is there, I'm not sure if they're going to have that level of success in terms of defending or taking over the paint. But because Towns is a factor on the glass at least. He may not be a shot blocker, but they were dominating the glass against Boston. And this kid, Onyeka Okongwu, boy, I wish we could have him on the Knicks. 6'10", block shots, can shoot threes. He's like a Marcus Camby that can shoot threes. Yeah, the kid is talented. I'm not saying he's as good as Marcus Camby, but he's still young, and he might can develop into a Marcus Camby like talent. And, they got the Jalen Johnson, Zachary Ricochet, a whole bunch of 6'9", 6'10" guys, athletic. They like to run the floor. They're not the greatest defensive team. They don't force a lot of turnover. They're middle of the pack. They're a middle of the pack team. So I expect that how the Knicks can get the victory done is, one, the Atlanta Hawks do not do a great job defending the 3-ball, though they did against Boston. Right? They were able to take away Boston's 3-point shot, especially I think it was the first half. So when we're talking about the Hawks, I think the Knicks could get the win if Towns plays. If Towns doesn't play, it's going to be a problem because they can dominate the paint, right? And they're a solid rebounding team, though they don't do a good job holding opponents off the glass. We're the second best or the best team at holding opponents off the glass. So, yeah, salute to the chat, man. Keep the comments coming. By the way, salute the coach in the building. If you just joined, this is This Week Inside the Knicks. Podcast episode 12 of the 24-25 season, and we're talking about the time period between January 13th to the 19th. By the way, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and hit the like button so more Knicks fans can get in the building. Special time I'm doing the podcast. This podcast normally is done on at 6:00 on Mondays, but because it's the great MLK Day, we decided to do it early. Why not? And right before the game. I listen, guys. I don't like doing lives after the games. When the Knicks lose, oh my God, it's bad. But when they win, everybody's happy. So I took the liberty to make sure I do this before the game started. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But let me continue. I'm going to run through some more topics from this week. And I didn't get to the flagship topic, by the way. These are the topics I'm talking about. I'm talking about the cool injury update, because the good injury update, because, you know, they say that Towns and Hart practiced yesterday. So that's a good sign, but we'll get more into that. Chemistry issues, we touched on that. I didn't get into the minutes yet, about to get into the minutes and the rotation and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about All-Star votes and more. So that's where we are right now. Let me see where I'm going to go to now. I talked about Precious Achiuwa. We could talk a little bit about Josh Hart. I'm going to try to keep it a little positive before I jump into some of the shortcoming stuff. So Josh Hart, right? Salute to Josh Hart, by the way. New York City salute. I could get my soundboard to work. No player in NBA history who is 6'8" or shorter has ever averaged 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal while shooting above 50% from the field and 35% from three. This guy is a baller. This is what I'm saying. How do we take this guy out of the starting lineup? Because if there is going to be a change in the starting lineup, he more likely will be the guy that will go to the bench. Now, the good thing about it is he will enhance the bench, right? He could bring 10 points to the bench. I'm not sure if he's going to average 14, but maybe he might lose it 4 points, right? Or he could sustain it. You never know. But if he goes to the bench, he takes the 14 to the bench, or the 10 to 14 to the bench. He takes the rebound into the bench. He makes the Knick bench a little bit more threatening, right? So when they come on the floor, it's not just a campaign induced, because when campaign induced don't got it, they don't have no one else on the bench that could really do something on the offensive side of basketball. Now, Precious Achiuwa, he's solid. He can score if you need him to at times, but he's just not consistent on the offensive side. So you bring some consistency, some playmaking to the bench, and maybe the bench improves. I don't know. But these numbers are crazy, right? So listen to this, the only players that ever record those minimums over a whole season is Joel Embiid, Jokic, and Larry Bird. That sounds crazy. So that means he's performing within the likes in terms of this stat, not that he's on their level, right? Don't get that twisted. But the bottom line is the brother is balling, and he's doing things that's phenomenal. So I had to give Josh Hart a salute. Let me keep it moving. Let me see where I want to go next. We talked about a little bit about Charles Oakley. I don't want to spend too much time on Oakley, but as you know, he's currently in litigation against New York Knicks, and you know, there's been some talks about the case. You know, reports on the case, and we've been covering the case since it first went into proceedings. So litigation over the forced removal of Charles Oakley, right, from a seat at a New York Knicks game in 2017. Wow, it's crazy how much time flies. Like, I remember that incident like it was yesterday, right? So it sparked disagreements over Oakley and Madison Square Garden over the access to his records. So, okay, so Charles Oakley, he's kind of, I'm not on no side, right? I mean, this is their issue, but Oakley has done some things that, you know, I feel like is hurting his case. Like, he didn't have his text message records. Now we're talking about Oakley's injuries, right? Medical records. Last week, the U.S. judge says that Oakley's not compelled to turn over medical records from the orthopedist or his communications with the psychotherapist. That's the text message I was just talking about. But Oakley provided the full name and contact information to a licensed massage therapist he identified as Dara. See, when you're in these types of situations and you're trying to get some money, usually it benefits you to be more forthright. And Oakley, once again, this is another issue that MSG is raising, and it's a solid point for MSG side that, hey, Oakley says he has these things, but when it's time to present them, he's not presenting them. Right. So MSG maintains that Oakley hasn't adequately shared medical records that would corroborate or refute his alleged injuries. The evidence is thus important for purposes determining whether Oakley suffered all kinds of injuries, right? The injuries that the law ought to remedy. Okay, cool. The severity of these injuries, the alleged injuries occur at the home game. So we don't know the injuries. We ain't got the medical report. I don't know, guys. All I'm going to say is not looking good for Oakley, right? It's not looking good for Oakley. You got to turn over the records. Hey, it is what it is. Now, because when you don't got evidence in court, then it becomes a kind of like a he say, she say kind of deal. And it's hard to win when you're the one that's the plaintiff, and you're the one that's making the claims, right? So let me see any other hot topics I want to talk about. By the way, these are all the hot topics. You could read more of the hot topics. Oh, I'm gonna touch on this one right here. So just to give an update to the MSG, Optimum removing MSG from their packages, right? So the Attorney General, Letitia James, right? She pressed MSG Networks and Altice, right? The parent company to Optimum, to settle the ongoing dispute that have left the Knicks and Rangers and Devils fans without the ability to watch their games. So we'll see what happens, right? So she pressed the companies, and that is just because she pressed them, that doesn't mean they have to do it, right? But hey, the government, they're trying to come in and get involved in this and make sure that, these guys get to watch their teams. That's why I say just go, with Fubo, or just go directly to the app. I always forget the name of the app. My God, I call it GameSpot. It's not. It's not GameSpot. Hold on. Gotham Sports, and I do got it, by the way. You see if I can show you. Gotham Sports. See that? I do have it. Okay. So yeah, you got to go there. I would just go directly there if I'm those customers, right? Yes, it's an additional. I think it's $40 a month, but you can get Fubo TV and stream your cable. The only thing Fubo doesn't have that I find to be essential is the TNT, which sucks. That means now you got to go get a Max subscription. But yeah, there's other options. Let me see what you guys talking about. Latoria B says Gotham Sports is trash. I know. It's tough. So, honestly, if I'm on the go, I use the Gotham Sports app to watch the games, but for the most part, I don't really rely on it. I'm just saying it's an alternative, right? But you could get it on your TV too. Like if you have Android TV or Apple TV, it's an app in the store, so you can get it on your TV if you need to watch the game. But like I said, Fubo also is a good option. Like I said, my only issue is I'm kind of delayed when I watch the games. That's my only issue. Let me see. Yuri says, I get that, I understand that. If he doesn't do well this season, he's on the hot seat. Oh, we talking about Tibbs. Ooh. Let me see what you guys talking about. I'm on Dolan's side. Oakley is a head coach. Yeah, coach, you know what I'm saying? Look, coach. I gotta be objective, but there's some truth to what you're saying. Let me see what you guys talking about. Keep the comments coming. Latoria says she was trying to stream the game last game. It was blurring. Yeah, it's not that great. I feel for you, Latoria B. I don't have that issue on the TV. On the phone, sometimes it gets a little dicey. On the TV and the tablet, because sometimes if I'm doing something and I'm by my computer, I like to have my tablet. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, I use the Fubo app too. I could just watch it on Fubo. So if you have Fubo, and especially when I watch the game again, I just go to the Fubo app. But it's unfortunate, man. Hopefully these guys work it out, because it's a shame that people are not being able to watch the game, and not everybody has, money to just pick up another streaming option, especially one that starts at $40. Let me see. So I'm going to jump into one of the main topics that we said we were going to get into, and that's Coach Tibbs. Basically, we're playing the starters, right? So check this out. And I'm going to get into flagship soon, too. By the way, if you just joined, I will talk about the injury updates. I do have some concern, but I'm going to show you why my concerns is kind of eased, especially if Towns plays today. But we'll get into that. So, based on the Coach Tibbs in the minutes, right? Let's start here. The Knicks have 5 players in the top 10 that played this year. No other team in NBA history has had more than 3 in the top 10. So what does that tell you? what it tells me is that you have to be really great to do something for the first time in history. You have to be outstanding, right? And so my thing is that if it's never been done in history, what makes you think that you're good enough to do it? You know what I'm saying? What makes them think because we dogs and we tough? Maybe it's just something that's not possible. And I'm curious to know who were the 3 guys that actually did it and were those teams championship teams. Now, here's the optimism, right? Because I don't want to just be negative. Mitchell Robinson, right? The recent update that, he's doing 1-on-0 drills. We talked about this on the Knicks call-up, by the way. By the way, if you don't listen, guys, you guys got to check out the Knicks call-up show. It's fire. We do it Friday nights at 10:45 p.m. However, I am doing 2 shows this week. I'm doing one on Thursday at 9, one on Friday at 10:45. Hopefully see you guys in the building, call up and talk. But we talked about this on that show. And he's doing 1-on-0 drills. But look at the phases he has to go through. He's doing 1-on-0. He has to get the 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, then 5-on-5. How long will it take him to get there? I don't know. However, Mitchell Robinson, I think, will bring a lot to the team if they don't make a trade. Who knows what's going to happen? A lot of rumors. If we have some time, I'll get into some of the rumors. But I don't know, man. He will make a positive impact on the lineup. It's just that we don't know when he's going to come back. But the good news is at least he's working out, because the last report we got that said he wasn't even running, that was kind of scary. Like, that was kind of scary. I'm not going to lie to you. But maybe he'll add to the rotation. Maybe he'll force Tibbs' hands. He cannot continue to play a 8-man rotation. And then KG, and salute to, I think it was Mike and PA on the Knicks call-up show. He brought this up. I didn't realize he said this, but he brought this point out. Kevin Garnett weighed in. And by the way, Kevin Garnett, especially last season, was definitely high on the Knicks. I'm not sure if he's still as high on the Knicks as he was then, right? But he said that the Knicks must take a similar approach with Tom Thibodeau. My problem is that, this is his exact quote, my problem with a lot of traditional stuff is it doesn't download the latest update. Our league is a high pace. The scores are 130 to 140 points. The average is 120. True. I mean, teams are shooting a lot. That is all-star game-ish. The pace of the league is the reason why we're looking at it like that, Garnett said. On top of that, no one has told Tibbs, including the players, that if I'm Karl-Anthony Towns or if I'm Jalen Brunson, I'm pulling Tibbs in the room and saying, listen, it's like a players' league, right? They can get this off. Tibbs is stubborn. That I know, but it's going to have to be something, because you can't just go up against the Bostons and Clevelands and not have a bench. So I'm riding with KG on this one, right? I do think that maybe the captain can do it. Maybe the captain can say, hey, coach, you know we're tough. We're going to run through a wall for you. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we have guys at the end of the year that's going to be able to run through this wall. And the way these guys are running and doing things that's never been done before in history is either you're going to be really good or you're going to fail. And I guarantee you that most people in these situations are going to fail. So I'm riding with KG. What do you guys think about the minutes? I think that Mitchell Robinson brings the optimism, like the Daily News said, because he will force their hands. He will force their hands to play the 9 guys, right? Because now you have 9 guys that are worthy. And campaigns, listen, all due respect to Landry Shamet. New York City, salute to Landry Shamet. He worked his way back. He did what he had to do to, come back, because not everybody could just afford to take the year off and get surgery. So he worked hard. He deserves it. He deserves to be on this team. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but at the same time, when Mitchell Robinson comes back, I would like to see more size in the rotation with him, Precious. And you could keep Deuce and Campaign. And Campaign has to get minutes because Campaign makes a difference on the floor. He's been showing it the last couple of games. He's been showing it all year. The reason why Campaign scoring average dropped, by the way, salute to you if you was on the Knicks and 10 show. That's a show that I do where I break down all the numbers and the stats. The reason why Campaign's numbers dropped is because his minutes dropped. It's not because of his production dropped. You have production, you have minutes. If you're not getting the time, it's hard to get numbers. So he said the last game, I'm riding one. He said, you know what? I'm just going to get buckets the last game. I don't know how long I'm going to play. I'm going to light it up. And he shoots with confidence, and he's not scared. Let me see what you got. Oh, by the way, salute the Knicks 100 in the building, man. Knicks 100, man. You got to call up on one of these next shows, man. I need you on the call-up show. We doing one at 9 o'clock on Thursday, or we doing the Friday show at the usual time. Hopefully, you could come through. Let me see what Knick 100 talking about. He said, nah, let Sims go. Y'all wanted Precious so badly. Now live with it. Ooh. We ain't lose this many games when Sims was playing and Precious was hurt. Ooh. So wait, hold on. You putting that on? You can't wait, hold on. Knicks 100, you can't put that on Precious. But what you did say, oh, that wasn't you. That was Beeman who said that we also was beating teams under 500. That's really what the key is, right? We've been dominating the teams that are sub 500, right? What are we? We're 17-5. I believe we're 17-5 against teams sub 500. Let me just fact check that. Fact check myself. Yes, we're 17-5 against teams below 500. So we're very dominant against those teams. However, against with teams that are 500 and above, I changed it for you, Knick 100. It's 500 and above, right? We are 10-11. So, you know, we but also another key thing to note, when Precious came back, that was like back in like December, like I think maybe early December. So previous when Precious came back, guess what? We played more teams that was sub 500, and we had around like an 8-3 record against teams that was sub 500. However, our record against teams that was 500 and above was 4-5. So Beeman has a point. You can't put that on Precious. Also, by the way, I'm speaking for myself. I said that Precious is a 4, not a 5. He's out of position. Just like I feel like half the other guys are out of position. But that's a whole nother topic. Precious is solid. We can ish on Precious, right? Maybe play Sims and Precious together. I'm not saying they shouldn't do that. Knicks 100. Let me see. Any other chats in there? Keep the chats flowing, y'all. We're gonna be moving a little quicker. So, but that's the minutes. In terms of, like I said, I think Mitchell Robinson changes it, but we got to make it to when Mitch gets back, whenever that is, right? Or whenever they decide to do a trade, if they decide to do a trade. Okay, so let me. Speaking of Mitchell Robinson, we did the injury updates. Oh, so we did 2 things in one. Cool. So these are some of the trade rumors, right? Now check this out, y'all. How y'all guys feel about this? Now, like I said, I ain't look at the news, right? But if this guy got traded this morning, I ain't see it. But how you guys feel about making a push for Daniel Gafford? You know, they're looking for an asset in return. I don't think we have what they want because they got a lot of guards. So it's not like we could say, okay, we'll give you Deuce for Gafford. Just for example, I'm not saying the money's match up, but I would love to have Gafford on the Knicks, man. I think Gafford, he helps us with everything that we need. You know, rim protection, another solid rebounder, pick and roll threat, lob threat. I mean, he helps us what we need. What do you guys think about him? He's rumored to be moved by the Mavericks. Some more trade stuff. How about this? I'm gonna tell you guys right now. There's some more trade rumors. Raptors are looking to deal Bruce Brown and Chris Boucher. Now, this Chris Boucher kid, I would try to go get this kid. If you don't know who he is, we played the Raptors a couple of times. This kid is 6'9". He'll be on that list. He's solid. He can knock down the 3 ball. He's slim. He got energy. He can run up and down the floor. I'm gonna pull up his basketball reference. This kid right here. They make it, rumor has it, they're making him available for trade. 6'9". Yeah, he's only 200 pounds. That's the league, right? He's averaging 10 points. So he can get some buckets, right? He's shooting 35% from three, 49% from the field. Solid, right? And he gives effort on defense. I'm not saying he's a world beater defensively, but yo, this could be a kid you could add to your rotation, man. I like this kid. And let me look at his salary right quick because I don't remember it off the top of the head. But this might be a kid we might could go get, man. Let me see what his salary is. $10 million. Now, that's going to be a problem. $10 million salary. It's going to be hard for us to cover that. Unless you're trying to dump Mitch. But I don't think that I don't think I would trade Mitch for him. I'm going to keep it real. Would I trade one of these 6'3" guards? Maybe not Deuce, but like would I try to like package like some of our other young guys for him to try to get the money up there to that? I mean, it's not going to add up. I would, but I like this kid. But I'm just showing you guys some of the guys that are available in trade rumors, like that speculation around these teams and these players. Of course, the Valanciunas thing, we talked about that before. I don't want to get into that anymore. Let me see. And salute to Daily Knicks. They wrote this article. Salute to Jordana Clark. Knicks trade scenarios serve as a reminder that doing nothing might be the best option. That's also, I think, a strong possibility we don't do anything. If you ask me, because you got Mitchell Robinson on the horizon. He's honestly, for the price, for the money, he would be the best addition that we could make. Unless we're going to trade him for somebody who we think is going to really, make an impact on this team. But what do you guys think in the chat? Let me see what you guys talking about. Salute the coach. Let me see. Delano Banton, Ken Brunson, move off the ball for better ball movement. Okay. What's his salary? Delano Banton. Let's look it up. Delano Banton. I like Delano Banton. Didn't he play with the Celtics too? I think I know who you're talking about. He got braids, I think. Yeah, this kid right here. Yeah, he did play with Boston. Yup. Let me see. Oh, he averaged 16.7 points. Let's see what the salary looked like. And he's 6'8" too. Don't forget that detail. $2 million salary. Portland is known for doing boneheaded trades. They gave us Josh Hart. This might be a goal, y'all. 6'9" point guard. I thought he was 6'8", 6'9". He's got the size. I don't think he'll be a point guard with the Knicks. He might be a center. I don't think he'll be a point guard. I think he'll be a center. How you guys feeling about this kid? Coach, this is a good pick. This is a good pick. Only thing is, hold on. You know what? I take that back. Coach, let me show you why you might be on to something. Let me show Coach why he might be on to something. This is the Portland Trailblazers, right? I bet. Look at their roster. They got Scoot Henderson. Thibault. I like Thibault. I didn't even know they still had Thibault. Okay, they got Thibault. Look at all the guards they got. Taze Moore. Bryce McGowan. I don't know who these got two ways. Ryan Rupert. Shaden Sharp. I like Shaden Sharp. Anthony Simons. Okay, so they got rid of some of their guards because before they had a logjam at the point guard spot. Because they got rid of Brogdon. Oh, okay. I don't think they're going to give up Delano Banton. I don't think they're going to give him up. Because I thought that they had less guards. I thought they had more guards. They do got Sharp and Simons and Scoot and Thibault. So maybe they'll come off of Delano Banton. Maybe they might come off of him. But I like this kid. Actually, he had a good game against us. I'm not sure if that was a regular season game, though. I think that was preseason. It didn't count. But he was balling in the preseason. This kid right here. I like him. He shoot 37% from three. Can't beat that. 40% from the field. I can live with that. That's a good pick. Anybody else you guys want to trade? Should we trade or should we stay? 3 players and a first round pick for Hart. The only good trade we did was RJ and Quickly trade. Nah, Towns. You talking about the Towns trade is a good trade. The Towns trade wasn't a good trade. Mikal, we still waiting to see what happens with Mikal. Yeah, let's stay put. But if we could get a look, but this kid right here, I want the Knicks to stay put. But if you could get a kid like this, like if they say, "Yo, give us Tyler Kolek," I think I'll give up Tyler Kolek for this kid. I think I'll give up Tyler Kolek. Like if they say, "All right, we'll do the deal, give us Kolek," I'll give up Kolek. I know y'all like Kolek, and I'm not saying Kolek is not good, but this kid is 6'9". He has the size that we need. And he's a playmaker. He can get his own bucket. I just showed it here. He was averaging 16 a game in a 30-game stretch for Portland last year. That's crazy. 29 minutes. Knicks ain't going to do it, but if they did, listen, that's a good... Yo, coach, you on the money, man. Salute the coach. That was a good... I would have never thought about that. I ain't gonna lie. You know, because I'm looking at like starters and rotation guys. You see anything else with trades? We'll move forward. The Wolves game, like I said, we talked about that on Friday. I don't really care to really talk more about it. Julius Randle did say that he what could have been, you know. He wonders what could have been if he would have stayed, right? So here's some I could talk about this quickly. He said, man, that team, this is Randall, that team was incredible, man. I felt like that was the best basketball I played up until that point in my career. Not just the numbers, it was the flow. It was like, it was crazy, man. We went into every game expecting to win. Teams would hang around and we would end up winning by like 20 points. It felt like we were starting to get super dominant. We had everything and everybody's game was going to be to the next level. Chemistry was dope. It's unfortunate that the injuries happened, but that team was incredible. So Julius Randle, he's I ain't gonna lie. I thought that, you know, before I let it go, I let that thought go because I felt like it was kind of like not toxic to hold on to the past, but it just wasn't going to get us anywhere. You know, like right now, our players is Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and the guys we had now. I can't think about the 4 Nova boys together. Would it have been special? Possibly. Could this team still be special? Yes. The season's not over. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we've been struggling and, you know, but we still got another, 39 games. A lot can happen in 39 games. Okay? So this team can still be special. You know, maybe Mitch Roberts comes back and now we're a different team. Maybe we make a small move and now we're a different team. Like, you got to continue to bank on the guys that got you to this point. But, you know, I'm with Randall, you know, a little bit like, damn, what would have happened if, you know, we stayed together? Yeah, that's all from the Wolves game. I don't want you to touch. Let's get into All-Star voting. By the way, if you just joined the channel, the show, this is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 12 of the 24-25 season. We're talking about the periods between January 13th to the 19th. And, you know, all the hot topics, all the major topics. Like I said, if you want to see us talk more about the game, break down the game that happened with the Wolves, go to watch the Knicks call-up show. We talked about it in full depth if you really want to know. So I'm not going to talk about it much here. I do want to talk about the All-Star votes. So this is the last, I think it ends today, voting. Let me just double check. So we are amongst either the last day or the day the deadline passed. I'm going to just fact check it right quick. Maybe we could vote again today. But I think it's over. And I do want to give a big time salute to Knicks fans because y'all have been voting for Brunson. You know, as I mean, oh wait, we can still vote, y'all. So get your vote in. Get your vote in today. I'm gonna do it from my phone, and then I'm gonna do it on the computer. Why not? This will be the last time we vote together. You know, let's get it done. I gotta do this emoji. You know that we call that the bot check. I hate that. Okay, so I voted here. Let me go to NBA.com real quickly. Takes two seconds. So this is the last day of the vote, y'all. Make it count on this MLK Day. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your time off. If you're off, if you're working, you're just listening, salute to you. I love how they cut the league pass prices in half. Like we're not halfway throughout the season. Like they giving us a deal. Like, dude, we're halfway through the season. Relax. Let me jump out of research mode right quick. I'm going to log in. I don't want you guys to see my emails. So we're going to vote real quickly. Let me log in. All right. So let me go back into research mode. So now that I'm logged in, we're going to go to vote. All you got to do is click Allstar at the top. Pow. Oh, okay. Today's voting is 3 times. So definitely vote. All I do is I vote Knicks. Right? You just hit the plus button, then you hit the plus button again, and you look for Josh Hart. I mean, you look for OG and Mikal. Here's Mikal. And OG should be around here somewhere. If I didn't pass him. OG right here. Bam. Hit review picks. You're done. Go to guards. Josh Hart. Brunson's going to be at the top. Pow. Hit the plus button on Jalen Brunson. And then you go down. You find Josh Hart somewhere. He should be coming up, or if I didn't pass him. Let's see. I think I did pass him. Josh Hart somewhere here. There you go. Bam. Hit Josh Hart. Review picks. Submit votes. You're done. Hit prove that you're not a robot. You're done. And we just did a vote together. Latoria says, I vote for Dante and Mitch. So wait, hold on. So if you vote for Mitch, that means that you don't vote for OG or Mikal. Which one of those guys you don't vote for? Yo, you know what's funny? I was going to do a poll, right? Remember when Mikal Bridges, I gave him the Knick of the Week for December, and he was bowling, and then up until like recently where he kind of slowed down, I was going to do a poll. Do you think Mikal Bridges should be an All-Star? I'm curious to know. Do you guys think that? You know, even though I vote for him on every show, do you guys think Mikal should be an All-Star? I'm going to say no, only because, you know, he hasn't really continued the streak the way he was, but the team's performance. Like, if you're going to get 3 All-Stars in the All-Star game, you got to be balling. And right now, the Knicks are not balling. Right? I wish they were, but they're not. And I got to keep it real. So we just voted. Now, look, here's the update on the All-Star votes, okay? Now, we talked about, no, did we talk about this? Yeah, we did. We've talked about this a little bit on the call-up show. But, once again, I got to give a salute to Knicks fans, because I think you guys, right? Of course, you guys in the chat always support, right? So, I played the wrong New York City sound. My bad. But you guys always support. But the Knicks, we got Towns. Towns is going to be a fan starter. And more than likely, because it's 50% for the fans and another 50% divided between the coaches and the players. More than likely, the players and the coaches are going to have Towns as a starter. So Towns is pretty much a starter. But thanks to us also adding to the casual fan vote, because I feel like a lot of these are just casual fans or young fans. But we did a good job of making sure that Towns stays right next to Tatum and Giannis is definitely miles ahead of everybody, but keeping him in the top 3. Now, when you look at the guards, Jalen Brunson at one point had half the votes of LaMelo Ball. And there's no way Brunson was going to catch LaMelo Ball, right? But Knick fans, I feel like because we've been making the push, have definitely pushed him closer to Lillard. He's on his heels, and I think he's going to pass Damian Lillard. Will we catch Donovan Mitchell? I don't know. This is why we got to continue to vote. Right? But I do got to give a salute again to Knicks fans because I think we made Brunson a starter, a reality. Once we looked at the numbers, more content creators doing shows, even MSG, on the network, on the shows, they've been talking about vote for your Knick. I think all of that helped. So, we did it. We're doing our part. And like I said, this is 50% fans. The other 50% is players and coaches. So he could still start. He could still start somehow, some way, especially if we can get him up to catch Mitchell. And hopefully Stephen A. Smith doesn't go, oh yeah, I voted for Damian Lillard because I felt like he should be a starter. Stephen A. Smith. Come on. You knew Jalen Brunson deserved to be a starter last year. Why rob this brother of that moment? Hopefully, I don't think they're going to do it again this year because a lot of people has felt like he's been one of the top point guards in the East, if not the top point guard in the East. LaMelo Ball has the best stats, but his team is trash. There's no way I'm putting LaMelo Ball up over Brunson because I feel like if I put Brunson in Charlotte, Brunson would probably average 35 a game. I'm going to keep it real. And the team would be better. That's just the way I see it. Either way, nonetheless, salute to you guys. Let me see what's going on in chat. I go to the Knicks team and just vote all. I want him to be there, but there are better options. When you say you wanted who to be there, you talking about Mikal? Yeah, Mikal, I think there's better options. I think that Mikal, if the Knicks would have continued to ball and he would have got like up to 20 points a game, he still has time to do it, but it's going to be really hard. That would have got him the nod. But neither he or the Knicks have continued to be that hot. Gibson says, I think Mikal has been a disappointment in his play thus far. He's inconsistent. I can't say it's not true. I'm going to say this, and this is why we kind of came to this realization on the Knicks call-up show. We said that, hey, maybe we just might have to wait another year. Maybe, we do what we do this year, try to get to the second round Eastern Conference Finals, and then next year this team will have more chemistry, a year under their belt, and we could build like that. I'm going to tell you right now, you go to Brooklyn where you're the number one guy. Cam Thomas was competing for that spot. But either way, you go to Brooklyn, you're a 1 and 2 guy. You got there, you were averaging 26 a game, balling. Everybody's like, damn, Mikal could do what he do. His average did dip last year down to 20. But I feel like that was Cam Thomas, his ascension, right? So, but he still was a top 2 scorer on the team. Now you go to the Knicks and now you're like a third, fourth option, even though he's kind of made himself the third option. He's distinguished himself in that regard. But it's still kind of hard to make that adjustment. They're still learning each other. Yes, they're more comfortable than they were when the season started for sure. Maybe it's just going to take time. Mikal Bridges is 26, 27 years old. He's still young, still has room to, do better and he's not going to regress. I doubt it. But I think part of it is just adjusting to the system. It's brand new. And I don't really care about the individual exploits. I felt like if the team was doing better, even with him performing the way he's performing, he would have been an all-star. But if you're going to be an all-star, you're going to have to ball out because they just don't give away 3 spots. Like, I don't even think definitely the Celtics are not getting 3. But they might, I don't know, they like Derek White. I could see them trying to slide Derek White into the all-star game. But Cleveland is probably the only team in the league that deserves 3 all-stars. And I know it's taking a lot for me to say that because I don't like the Cavaliers, but I'm not a player hater. I am an appreciator. At the same time, those guys, they got 3 guys that's been solid. Mobley, Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell. So And some people would argue Allen too, but I don't see them getting 4 All-Stars. Let me see. Some of these chats is kind of cool. By the way, since we are on, I want to take the time to show you some things. I want to take you to the shop. I ain't talk about the shop in a minute. By next week, I should have 2 more brands up in there. 2 more, not brands, but 2 more designs. Right now, we still rocking the Captain 11. I do got the mug. That's what I've been drinking from. Of course, I'm not really a tea guy like that or a coffee guy, so I just drink water. But you could, drink your tea, your coffee out of the mug. This is to celebrate the Captain 11. I think that Jalen Brunson, he's the reason, he's the architect for what we got going now. And could we be doing a better job? Yes. But at the same time, this brand right here, the greatest sacrifice in Knicks history, he deserves to be, celebrated as our captain. And, definitely check out the Captain 11 merchandise at shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. By the way, you could also get to this website from the podcast website. All you got to do is click more and then click shop. And that'll take you here. That'll take you to the actual shop. So, no, I'm sorry. I lost it. Where is it at? Got too many windows. Right here. Bam. It'll take you to the shop. Right. And right now you get a 10% discount of all merch on the shop. So take advantage of it. Now I'm gonna jump into flagship. I know that's why some of you guys are here. Let's jump into the flagship topic. We're gonna talk about these injuries. By the way, did any of you guys get any other updates as far as this Hawks game? I'm gonna do a refresh on ESPN. Last time I checked, he's still a game time decision. Let me see. Still a game time decision. I had an article from Daily Knicks. I don't know where it's at, where they was talking about an update for the game. Can't find it nowhere. Hold on. Let me see if I could do it. Nah, it's not gonna. Let me see if I go to news right quick. Oh yeah, there you go. This is where I was looking at this earlier. Oh, see, it's still questionable. Trae Young. Oh, he's dealing with Achilles tendonitis. I didn't even know it. Wait, hold on. He's on this report. I wasn't even looking at Atlanta. No, he's Trae Young. Oh yeah, Trae Young is a game time decision. Okay. Oh, Ricochet is out. Yeah, Zachary Ricochet is out. Oh my God, that dude. He's a problem for us. I'm glad he's not playing. Not that I don't want to beat the team 100%, but we're not 100%. So if another team is not going to be 100%. That's a good to go. But I do want to talk about a couple of things with Karl-Anthony Towns. Josh Hart, I'm not really worried about Josh Hart. He's the hustle in the heart. If he has to miss a game, that's not a problem. But I think Josh Hart's going to play no matter what. And the reason why I say that, just to real quickly touch on Josh Hart, the captain talked about Josh Hart, and he said that he believed Hart was okay. He said, I think he'll be all right. And I'm not too worried about him and his toughness. We'll all be back. Now, here's the key thing. Brunson said we'll all be back and ready to go Monday against the Hawks. Now, the good news about that and why that statement might be true is that, Towns and Hart, they practiced yesterday. So by Towns and Josh Hart practicing, that made me feel a lot better because, and I mentioned this on the Knicks call-up show. You know me, I like to do a little bit of research. This is the Cleveland Clinic, by the way, right? So when you say bone chip in the finger, right? Bone chip in the finger, thumb sprain, right? I think that is a cool way or a way to minimize the thought process that this is actually a fracture. Okay, he fractured his thumb. Now, not all fractures are the same, right? As this article will tell you, right? So I'm not going to, bore us by reading this article, but I'm going to scroll down to the part that matters the most. How long does it take a broken finger to heal? Recovery time for a thumb or finger fracture ranges from, here's the key, several weeks to a year. Several weeks to a year. Healing time depends on the extent of the injury and your treatment. Your provider will let you know when it's safe to use your hand again. You may do rehab exercises each day, often under the guidance of specialized hand therapists, right? So, and I read this on a couple of articles, 3 weeks up until months. So that was my concern. When I first seen bone chip in the thumb, okay, thumb sprain, I did this. I went to go look at this, right? And according to the Knicks, I'm going to show you what the Knicks said. So the Knicks said initially, I got to scroll up for it because I didn't put it down here. Should have did that, but I'm going to tell you what the Knicks said that their plan is, right? And I was kind of cautious because how many of you guys remember what, here we go, bam. How many of you guys remember when Deuce was game to game, right? But missed 5 games and he had because of the hamstring injury. But they said, oh, it's just day to day. 5 games is not day to day. That's like a week or two, right? Don't get that twisted. Day to day is like what they're trying to say Towns is like if Towns plays, this would be the example of a day-to-day injury. Each day you check the report and it says game time decision, game time decision, right? And then the game comes and then they'll let you know, oh, not this game, the next game. That's game to game. Deuce McBride, however, was game to game for like 5 games straight, and he had that happen twice, right? So I'm concerned about the game time decision. That doesn't make me feel better. So the Post reported, right, that it says surgery was deemed unnecessary. And the plan is for Towns to return once the swelling subsides. Okay. Now, he practiced yesterday, so that's telling me that maybe the swelling has subsided, because if he doesn't play today, doesn't mean he can't play the next game. But if he doesn't play in the next couple of games, I'm going back to here where it says several weeks to it. I got my mind. I'm the objective Knicks fan. Several weeks to a year. Okay. And if he re-aggravates the injury, he's going to need more time off, or he's going to have to get the surgery, right? If he re-aggravates the injury, if the swelling doesn't go down, if the pain is still too much, these are all things of concern. However, the Knicks are not concerned about it. So this is why I'm not going to be concerned about it. And we're just going to monitor it. But just remember, I told you guys that a bone chip, which is a fracture, usually takes weeks to heal, not days. So if this is a special circumstance, because we don't know the extent of his injury, good. If it's not and it's capped, it's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a tough year, but you can't say I didn't tell you, okay? Josh Hart, I'm not even worried about Josh Hart. I'm not even going to look at this injury. He's something with his neck. He'll be all right. Let me see what you guys talking about. Like OnDO says, definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you just joined, this is This Week Inside the Knicks, and it's a podcast dedicated to documenting the Knicks 365, 7 days a week. Give me 50 minutes, I give you the Knicks, and we're talking about a whole wide range of topics. I'll put it on the screen so you can see. We just covered the flagship topic, which is talking about the good injury news. Hart should be fine, and they both practiced yesterday. And you know, I'm just letting you know that it's not looking like what I thought it was, what I mentioned on the Knicks call-up show. And I told you guys I had an article. I didn't want to go through it. Then I was saving it for Monday, and we just went through it. So, and then we pretty much talked about the All-Stars. So we hit a lot of this stuff already. If you just joined, you know, you could feel free to do the replay game. We still got some more stuff to talk about. Let me see where we at. We at the hour 10 mark. We got to talk about the power rankings for sure, and word on the street. Being that I did talk about this, if you go back to the blog, you'll notice that there is no Knick of the Week, y'all. There is no Knick of the Week. No Knick of the Week. The reason why there's no Knick of the Week is because I do not promote any type of highlights when you're losing. And we had a 1-2 week. So if we don't have a winning week, meaning from the period of time that we're talking about, right, which is the 13th to the 19th, if you have a losing record, I don't believe in giving people salutes and shout outs. I can't reward mediocre play. And we were mediocre this week, and we lost, honestly, we should. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Wolves game, okay, because no Towns, that's tough, and we beat them. It's a revenge tour game for them, but to lose a revenge tour game to Detroit, that is just like, honestly, that really got me feeling some type of way. To lose a revenge game to Detroit, that's just not acceptable. Yeah, they're above 500 team, but we're better than them. There's no way you lose that game. But we lost it. It is what it is. Can't cry over spilled milk. But I am not going to reward Knicks of the Weeks when we lose. Let me see what Knicks 100 talking about. They playing games to make Cat get the surgery now. Do we need to see a drop off in this play? No, I mean, it's not necessarily Knicks 100 that surgery is necessary, because, like I said here, it could take several. Well, yeah. Well, the reason. All right. So let me clarify this, because this is grouping together all different types of fractures. Right. It's not. So the several weeks to a year is not for Towns' injury, so to speak. Right. Let me just be clear. However, the several weeks is on the mild side, or the side where it's not that bad of an injury. It still takes several weeks to heal. So it's not necessarily Knicks 100 that he has to get surgery. He could just sit out and take more time away, which is bad because we're going to need him. So if he misses 3 weeks and now you play, 12 games in that span? 11 to 10 to 12 games? Dude, I mean, that's a good chunk of the season. But it might take that for him to heal and come back and be strong. So it doesn't necessarily have to be surgery, Nick 100. I just want to let you know that, right? Doesn't have to be surgery. It could just be prolonged rest. And of course, Nick 100, man, what's going on? The Cavs should get 4? Okay, this is not a Cavaliers show, so I might even want to entertain that. And by the way, he's talking about All-Stars. Anna Grill says Cleveland's better because of Mobley's emergence. I agree, and I said that. Yo, on this podcast, I wish I could just soundbite myself and pull it out for the future. I said the only way Cleveland will be great is if they learn how to use Mobley right. And guess what? I didn't factor in Kenny Atkinson and his good coaching ability to get the most out of these guys, because he was responsible for those Nets teams with those guys you never heard of doing those things that they were doing. And he is the mind to bring that out of Mobley. I kind of like, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I got the New York bias. I don't believe no Cleveland team could beat us in any sport. I'm gonna keep it real. That's the Cleveland Browns. It's the Cleveland Guardians. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers. I just don't believe in them. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm biased. I'm sorry. I just don't. I kind of underestimated Kenny Atkinson, and I forgot. I wasn't thinking about Kenny Atkinson when I was downplaying Cleveland. They're a solid team. I still think the Knicks could beat them. I'm not there yet. We still got 3 more games against them in the regular season. Let's see what happens. They have been better. You can't front on them. But Mobley has been the difference. Good eyes. Mobley to me has been the big time difference. Let's do word on the street. Cleveland deserves 3 All-Stars. Yes, they definitely deserve 3 All-Stars. Now, I give them 3. But 4, I don't know. But 3 for sure. I don't think it's a debate. With us, it's a big time debate. Mikal Bridges an All-Star? That's a debate. Okay? Mobley an All-Star? Not a debate. Because he is, to me, he is the X factor for them, and he makes them the team that if Mobley's not there, this team would be winning, they'll probably be a 6 seed. Mobley, to me, makes this team as good as they make them. Yes, of course, Mitchell's the best player, but Mobley, what he can do on the defensive end and on the offensive end at the 4 spot, he's one of the most unique 4s in the league, if not the most unique. He's like Wemby at the 4. I know he doesn't have necessarily the same. Yeah, well, he does have a height advantage against like OG Anunoby and guys like that. But He may not have a height advantage like that against like Randle or some of the bigger power forwards, but his ability to impact the game in all facets, like, you know, he can guard on the perimeter. How many fours can do that? He's probably the only four. No, well, you do got Tatum and guys like that, yeah. But no other four in the league is as good as defending the paint and the perimeter as he is. And that's not a debate. He could defend the inside and on the perimeter, right? And he's a factor in pick and roll on the offensive side, right? And he can create for himself in the mid post, high post. Not as strong in the low post. He's still working on that, but he's a threat on the offensive end. He can do a lot. But word on the street, and I'll talk about the membership too after that. But let me go to the community tab, and I try to drop a poll in there quite frequently. By the way, too, before I even begin word on the street, I'm glad this popped up. This is the upcoming shows that we got for this week. So we got the Knicks call up on Thursday at 9:00. Make sure you're there, right? I'll put out another community post and things of that nature. And then we also got another Knicks call up show. I'm doing two. I'm testing this out. I want to see how the look is, especially because we ain't got a game on Friday. So we also doing the Knicks call up 10:45, same time Fridays. That's going to stay the same unless we decide to change it. And of course, this week inside the Knicks returns to 6 p.m. next week. So next Monday, 6 o'clock, be here, be square. And then of course the call up show after that. So I'm gonna read some of these polls off just to see where we are. Okay, I'm gonna start off here. Okay, so last night's win was a nail biter. This was the only bright spot of the week, by the way, us beating the Sixers. But there were some bright spots that we could be proud of as Knicks fans. In addition to Jalen Brunson's 38 points, what else stood out in this game? I'm going to say off the rip, Josh Hart's 5 triple-doubles, and 68% of the 209 votes say that Josh Hart's triple-double stood out. Jericho Sim had 2 putbacks. I'll put the Jalen Brunson emoji face there because it is shocking to see him get 2 putbacks in the game. How often do you see Jericho Sims get 2 putbacks? Anyway, and Cat getting rid of the Eagle shirt. That was a joke. But yeah, Cat, what are you doing wearing the Eagle shirt? Yes, I know that's his team, right? And that's he and Brunson's team. They both are Eagles fans. I guess you got to let them live, especially because the New York football teams are trash. I mean, come on. But at the same time, you can't wear that to a Knicks game. Let me move forward. Rumors, we talked about Booker on a couple of different shows. There's rumors that Booker might be traded, and the Knicks are interested. Should the Knicks pursue a trade for Booker? I'm going to say no at this point. But out of the 259 votes, 52% say yes. 44% say no. 5% say they don't know. By the way, you can still vote for these polls because these polls are still up on the community section. And if you didn't vote already. And in the Knicks rubber match against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Wolves shot 55% from 3. Crazy. Why do you think the Knicks struggle to defend against their opponents in 3-point shots? I don't really know the answer, but like this is just a wild guess. I'm going to say I think players out of position. So out of the 158 votes, 27% say players out of position. 28% say Coach Tibbs poor coaching. And then 42% say the starters are too tired. Now, the other 2 options could be considered Coach Tibbs poor coaching, but you know, hey, I threw Tibbs in there just to, see how many people really don't like him. And that's all for word on the street. By the way, like I said, this is just seeing how Knicks fans feel. And you can vote for these polls now. Let me see what the chat talking about. By the way, salute to Big Dog Talk Sports. Oh, Big Dog Talk Sport. I'm glad you're here. I want you to consider for March 15th, Big Dog Talk Sports. We got to do for that week. That's March. Hold on. That's Saturday, March 15th, Big Dog Talk Sports. I want to do a live play-by-play show. I want you to call up. And I want you to watch the game with me. You're a Warriors fan. Let me know if you could do that. And then if you could also do a call-up show that week, just to come on. We do the call-up shows 10:45 on Friday or Thursday. Let me know, Big Dog Talk Sports. I'll reach out to you on Messenger. I do want to do that collaboration with you, if you could. Salute the Big Dog Talk Sports. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. Knicks 100. Once again, I don't think he needs the surgery. I'm not saying he needs surgery. Several weeks of rest could also heal the thumb. He doesn't have to get surgery, but he could also take the rest. Okay. Let me see. Salute to Own Dios, moderator in the chat. I just want to see Bridges get to the line more. It would help open up his game. Facts. That's an underutilized aspect of his game. You know what? And because you said that, I want to spend some time on that. Because that's a great point. That's a great point. Hold on. Let me pull up Mikal Bridges. He could average 20 a game. Because this is really important. Right? Like when you really looking at Mikal Bridges, right? And no, I don't want to become a member of Stathead. Sorry. Look at Mikal Bridges' free throws, y'all. Notice that we got to ask ourselves, why is Mikal... Oh, by the way, let me get this topics off because it's blocking the view. Why Mikal Bridges... Why is he not shooting free throws like how he was? This brother was shooting 6 free throws a game in his time in Brooklyn. Of course, that's when he was averaging the 26 points, right? But it was 3. So like if you look at the entire year, that year, the total, right? 83 games, crazy. He was getting 4 free throws up a game. So we got to ask ourselves, how you go from 4.3 free throws to 1.1 free throw? Last year, 3.9 free throws. So he's getting around 4 free throws a game. Why does that go to 1? Something is off there, and that's what's dropping his average. He was 19.6 last year. You add the 2 free throws, add 3 more free throws. Let's say you add 3 more free throws. He goes 2 of 3. That's 2 more points. Bam, he's at 20 points. Simple. That's the simple way to get to 20. He don't even need more shots. He gets 3 more free throws a game. That'll give him 2 more points. That's why Mikal's not a 20-point game scorer. Good point. Good point. By the way, I do want to talk about before I move on and finish up. I do want to talk about the channel members. Salute to the channel members that's been riding with me. You know, we got a channel membership package that we offer to all of our members, and one of the things that's not listed here that you get access to is the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, where we have 24/7 Knicks chat where we talk all the time. I mean, news, games. We in there saying, "Oh, why Coach Tibbs did this?" Salute the coach. Salute to Sam. And they're in there and they're active in there. And that's one of the things that channel membership gets you access to. You also get the loyalty badges, of course, to show everyone you're a member. Members only live chats. Didn't start that yet. We'll start that soon, right? Priority replies to comments. All my members always get. So if the shows are popping, or if there's a lot of comments on the post and you want to chime in, you know, I always get back to my members. I'm getting ready to get more active in these status updates, but you know, I do these things called unfiltered thoughts, and I post like videos of my basketball games. I forgot to post that over the weekend. But yeah, I do things for the members, the people that support the channel. Is you know, it's only $4.99 a month. That's what it starts out at. And of course, you get discounts on the merch if you see anything you like. Like I said, I will be upgrading, and adding some more designs to the store. But that's what you get at the $4.99 package. The $14.99 package, you get everything you get from the $4.99 package and more. We do have this thing called the Parlay Builder, right? I'm getting ready to get back into doing more parlays as well. And basically, we win some bets together. I track a lot of stats, daily leaders and things of that nature. And we look for trends, and we come up with trends, and we come up with some good picks, solid picks, you know, and we connect more on social media, more members only content. Like I said, I'm actively adding to these packages. So if you want to become a member, right, or even gift a membership to someone, these are some of the things you get when you become a channel member, right? And like I said, I appreciate to all the people who are members already, but Maxine, like I said, she would kill me if I didn't share that. Salute the nostalgic Nick in the building. Let me see. Latoria B says 5 shots, Knicks don't get calls. You know what's funny, Latoria B, that you said that? What's funny about you saying that, it seems like the NBA is trying to become more balanced between offense and defense. So they're not calling the same fouls they were a year or two ago. I do notice that. And it's not just the Knicks. I watch everybody. I watch all the games. I watched the Celtics versus the Hawks game. Same thing we complain about, same things these guys complain about. Especially like Boston, I feel like gets a lot of calls. Boston gets their calls, man. But Boston doesn't attack the rim like that. They shoot a lot of threes. So it's hard for them to get a lot of free throws. But there was moments in that game where Atlanta was getting robbed. I'm just saying, like, I mean, man, what's going on? Not that we care about Atlanta, but I'm just being objective. So I think that is something to the refs letting a lot more go. So for certain guys who draw fouls in certain ways, it's harder for them to get more free throws. But, you know, Brunson, SGA, they always going to get the Greek freak Giannis because they're consistently attacking the basket. But the guys that, you know, may have gotten more fouls off jump shots, it's harder to get a foul off a jump shot because as long as the guy doesn't encroach into your space, you know, it's hard to get a foul call when you're shooting a lot of jumpers. Okay, Big Dog Toast Boys, let me know. I hit you up on the messenger to see what we can do, man, because you're a Warriors fan. For the Lakers game, I'm going to have Dusty because that's going to be the play-by-play game that we'll do. I told more about that on the Knicks call-up show about the play-by-play games we do. But I'm curious to know if I could get some fans of other teams to watch the game with me, so it'll be lit. Let me see. Bridges not being aggressive on offensive end or attacking the rim. I think it's more so attacking the rim. E. Gibson. I think that. I don't think he needs more touches. I think that, you know, he has to take advantage more because he gets a lot. Sometimes he gets these smaller guards on them, you know, because they have nowhere else to put him. Because Brunson gets the guy that's 6'8" most of the time. So the other guy that's 6'2", 6'3", they're either on Hart or they're on Bridges. So Bridges needs to get lower or look to drive on post-ups. Every time Bridges post-ups, he just wants to shoot the fadeaway, and it's money. He shoots a great clip from two-point range. He's like damn near 60% from two-point range. So it's hard to be mad at Bridges and his efficiency, and I think maybe that's why he's not shooting a lot of free throws as well. But you got to make it a priority. Like you can't, I'm not going to say can't. I'm going to say it's hard to be a 20-point per game scorer in the NBA still, even to this day with all the threes, if you're not getting to the line at least 3 or 4 times. When you look at a lot of the 20-point scorers, they get into the line at least 3 or 4, and that's at the minimum. Exactly, Knicks 100. He's fading away from the contact. He did put up 41 on Christmas against San Antonio, so he's a capable scorer. Of course, he was averaging 26 a game in Brooklyn. I just think that is harder to it's in a big of an adjustment when you become the first and second option. Now you go to the third option. A lot of guys will have a hard time adjusting. Not that they can't do it, it's just that I was the man getting all the touches. Now, how do I balance my touches out? You know, and not to mention he has to guard the best player on the other side of the floor. I mean, and we're not talking about just some big, slow dudes. He's guarding some fast, elite, super athletic dudes that constant motion, and he has to then come on the offensive and get buckets. It's very tough to do. So I ain't gonna lie. If I had to do that, I'm just taking a whole bunch of jump shots. So let me see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, there's more. I always forget to do this towards the end of the shows, too, because we at the hour-and-a-half mark. I don't want to go on for too much long, but look, we still got a couple of more things. Power rankings, right? Sometimes I forget to talk about the power rankings. Now, guys, the NBA, in my opinion, not the NBA, ESPN, and Bleacher Report, in my opinion, have been super generous to teams that were top teams in power rankings. Cleveland Cavaliers number 1, right? OKC number 2. This is going to change. This is definitely going to change. I think the Cavs will slide to number 2 the next time these rankings come out, because I think these come out Wednesday or Thursday. The 15th, I think the 15th was Wednesday. I don't remember. 15th was Wednesday, I think. Anyway, bottom line, it comes out in the middle of the week. So we didn't get the updated games. Like, it didn't have the Cleveland game here. The Cleveland OKC game didn't count yet. So that will change next week. Boston, number 3. This was before they lost to the Raptors. Because they did lose to the Raptors. And they lost to the Hawks. Okay? So Houston Rockets, I don't remember how they did. I'm not sure if they lost to Denver. I can't remember. But Houston Rockets, number 4. So far, in my opinion, the first 4 picks on the money. Not mad at it. They still got the Knicks at number 5. And this is, of course, this is before the debacle, the 1-2 week that we had. But the good news is the Brooklyn game, we could get the 500 when we win the Brooklyn game. Right? But at the same time, because we went 2-2, we're going to slide. But I got to give a big time salute to ESPN for keeping us in the top 5. Like, last year I got on ESPN for not, putting us higher when we deserve to be. But at the same time, I feel like they've been very good at dropping teams that deserve to be dropped and rising teams. I've seen teams go up like 7 spots. Memphis is going to overtake us more than likely. Denver, I'm not sure about Denver. But these are the teams behind us. So that's ESPN, okay? Number 5 on ESPN. Bleacher Report, which comes out Friday, I think. Bleacher Report comes out a day or 2. Yeah, Bleacher Report comes out Friday. So ESPN comes out Wednesday. Okay, cool. I'm going to scroll down because I do not care about the last 20 teams. I'm going to get to the 10. So they got Clippers at number 10. Not mad at that. Dallas, number 9. Not mad at that. Milwaukee, number 8. I don't know about Milwaukee, number 8. Hold on, who's? Oh, okay. Pacers going to move up, too. Pacers got to move up. All right. I'm not sure about Milwaukee at number 8. Denver, cool. And they got the Knicks at number 6. So the Knicks is holding on to a top and 6-5 ranking. We dropped 2 spots. And, hey, once again, I mean, Bleacher Report, giving us some grades. I think we're going to drop some more. But honestly, I'm not sure about Milwaukee. And Dallas did lose a game or 2 because they've been dealing with injuries. The Clippers might move up. But yeah, these are the power rankings, y'all. What do y'all think about the power ranking? I mean, I don't got no beef with it, really. And it's very consistent at the top. Like the top 4 teams belong there, so I'm cool with it. But that's where we rank in the power rankings during this stretch. Let me see what you guys talking about. I watched Cade the other day. He stole Brunson's swim. Let me see. He stole Brunson's swim through already. Okay. Cat is a good rebounder. This is E. Gibson. Cat is a good rebounder, but more of a finesse big. That could be why he doesn't get the calls. Okay. But he should get more. Yeah, I mean, it's harder. Cat definitely, because Cat drives a lot. So Cat definitely deserves more calls. But he still shoots a lot of threes too. And at times he has a tendency to look to shoot longer shots like Mikal. I mean, not fading away like Mikal, but when you're shooting a lot, it just takes away from the foul argument. E. Gibson says, I put a 7 behind Denver. Indy's starting to play. Yeah, Indy's going to move up for sure. Milwaukee, I don't know about Milwaukee. I think they need to drop. But we'll probably be around the 6, 7, 8. No, ESPN will probably be 7. Bleacher Report will probably be like 7, 8. Let me see. Do you think the Knicks still end up in the top 3 at the end of the season? That's a great question. And you know what? That's going to be a poll. Thank you for that poll, Yuri. Top 3. End of season. That's a good question. I'm going to say yes. I think the Knicks stay top 3 unless, key caveat, Towns is hurt. Towns can't go. If Brunson or Towns is hurt, I don't see the run that we did last year, because the reason why we were able to do the run last year is that we had a deeper bench. That's one thing we know for a fact. Whether last year's team is better, this year's team is better, the one thing we know is the bench from last year was way more. You had a guy like Alec Burks not in the rotation, getting time. He came in and saved us in the playoffs. So you don't have an Alex Burks on this team now. Could Pacome Dadier do it? I don't know. We never seen it. Could Tyler Kolek do it? I don't know. We've never seen it. Could Ariel do something? We don't know. We don't see it. Maybe if Towns isn't ready to go and he has to miss, let's say he has to miss the 3 weeks like I was telling you guys, does Mitchell Robinson come back sometime during that stretch and then now you hold down the fort with Mitch at the 5? Possibly. I don't know. I just feel like last year's team has shown a resiliency that we don't know, that it still remains a mystery about this year's team, because except until recently, we haven't really had a reason to be resilient. I mean, our starting lineup has still played like the second most, third most in the entire league. So you had a lot of consistency. So it's no real adversity to overcome. Can we do it? I mean, possibly. I just don't know. I know that team last year had a lot of different dynamics to it that this team doesn't. One, like I said, a deeper, more veteran presence off the bench. So let's see. No, I think that no disrespect, but I think they can survive without Brunson. Towns would have to be 100%. Towns would have to be 100%. If you have 100% Towns and a Mitch, and Campaign or Deuce gets to start, and then one of those guys off the bench, I think that, you know what I can say, but Mitch can change this too. The Knicks would be better off if Brunson wasn't there than if Towns is not there, because the 5 spot has been a weakness for us. From 1, 2, and 3, that's our strength. We have no weaknesses at the 1, 2, and 3. So, but Mitchell Robinson could change that. If Mitchell Robinson comes back and he's looking like how he was at the beginning of the season last year, yeah. I think we stay in the top 3 though, because I have no faith in Milwaukee, and I can show you why real quickly too. Being that I'm on ESPN, let me just go to the standings. Let me show you why I think we can stay in the top 3. And salute to the people that watch the Knicks in 10 show. You guys know I always talk about differential. When you look at differential, right? Milwaukee is improving. They actually stepped it up because they were teetering around around 0. But they pushed it up to 2.9. Once you get to 2.93 and you can stay there consistently, so if they can hold on to this 2.9 for another like 10 games, that shows me that they are a team that might be a fixture in the top. But outside of them, the Pacers have been playing better, and they do got a positive differential, and they could build on it. But until they build on it, it's hard for me to put them up there. Now, the Miami Heat fell off because they got Jimmy Butler issues. Orlando Magic only fell off because of injuries. So when you look at these teams right now, there's only really 4 or 5 teams that are, primed to probably be top 5 teams. From 6 to 10 is kind of like the Wild Wild West. Hawks, Magic, only because of injuries with the Magic. Heat, what trade do they make? Detroit Pistons, young, impressionable, and the Bulls. So the only team that could technically challenge for 3rd right now, unless the Pacers do, become more consistent or whatever, is the Bucks. And they do got Dame Lillard and Giannis. Just saying, Make sure I hit everything I wanted to hit. Definitely covered every topic, y'all. Let me see if you guys saying. Read some more of your chats before we go. Matter of fact, let me check the blog. I don't want to talk about none of these games. I really don't. But yeah, I don't want to talk about these games. Yeah, I think we hit everything. I say Roy because he seems to have no weakness in his game. One floor, he gets angry too easily. Yes. Yes, coach. Yeah, I agree with that. Yo, you know what, Knicks 100? That's the most, Knicks 100. That is the most level-headed thing you said. It's a crapshoot, Yuri. Ain't no guarantee in the East, not even the Cavs. I'm glad you said the Cavs is not a guarantee because they're not. And yes, I give them credit. They playing well. I still don't believe in those guys. I really don't. I don't. I see the flaws. I see the vulnerabilities on the perimeter defensively. Yes, they try to run the zone and da-da-da-da, but when you're going up against a group of guys like OKC, where they got everybody can shoot threes and they moving the ball, and then they got the modern day Jordan and SGA, and then we got Jalen Brunson, who he is definitely a Cleveland Cavalier assassin, right? So I need to see the perimeter defense. And look, what I read is that the Cavs, they are kind of paranoid about messing up team chemistry. But yeah, the Cavs are the best team record-wise in the East right now. Not in the league. The best team in the league is OKC. Knicks 100 for the record. But, I want to give a big-time salute to everybody that tuned into the podcast. New York City salutes to everybody. Great podcast. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. RIP to the great MLK. And his birthday is more than worthy of being celebrated. It's more than just a holiday. And we took advantage of the early time slot right before the game. Hopefully we get this win. I think we could if Towns plays. If Towns doesn't play, it's going to be hard. It's possible. It's possible because the Hawks, like I said, they don't, if we protect the ball, even though they thrive when the team turns the ball over, they're not a team that forces a lot of turnovers. They also they're not a good 3-point defensive team like us. So we lighten it up, and we've been lighting up the 3-ball. We've been shooting better, believe it or not, though we haven't been winning. So if the Knicks is shooting around 39% from 3, 40% from 3, that can be a problem for Atlanta. And then it's all about containing Trae Young. You're going to have to contain him. It's hard to stop him, but if you can contain him, Bridges can contain him. OG can contain him. I think, what we should try to do? Maybe start with OG on Trae Young. Give it a different look and then keep just mixing it up. And they do that sometimes, but Trae Young just can't be comfortable, man. And Boston did a great job at moments in the game against Atlanta at freezing out Trae Young. But the problem with the Celtics is they shoot too many damn threes. And then when they was missing, the Hawks is running in transition. By the way, the Hawks is third in pace. So they're going to push the ball. Are you worried about Deuce? Is Deuce on the report? Was Deuce on the report? Are you saying just Deuce the way he's playing, not injury-wise? You're saying Deuce the way he's been playing? No, I'm not. I think that Deuce could be dealing with some lingering hamstring a little bit. Not to make excuses, just giving the rationale. If he's healthy, I think he'll be fine. But if he's still hurting, it's hard, especially with a hammy, to be 100% in terms of your efficiency and playing the way that you normally would play. Now, he's not on the injury report at all. So because of that, I'm not worried. Jalen Johnson is a problem, and he plays point forward. And he went to Duke. Just saying. Just saying. But thank you, man. I want to give a big time salute to all you guys on Dios, Knicks 100, Yuri. Hopefully you guys call up on the call up show on Thursday. Coach, Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. I want to give a big salute to Maxine, the mod with the most, doing what they doing on Dios, of course, holding it down. Latoria B, E Gibson, though I know you're not a Knicks fan, but I appreciate you rocking out and having the conversation. And Grill. Everybody that tuned in, man. New York City salutes to all of you guys. And once again, I see you guys this Thursday at 9:00. And that's all for this pod. So until next time, let's go, Knicks.